Having a real-life lightsaber, that's pretty cool. But not as cool as having 2. But you know what's cooler than that? Having 4. Oh yes, this is where the fun begins.
There's no way this could go poorly.
I did a worse job than the robot. Seriously though, how awesome would it be to have 4 arms? Like Machamp, or Goru, or Doc Ock, or even General Grievous? How are we gonna do this? I'm afraid genetic modification is a ways off for growing 2 extra arms, so we're gonna have to go mechanical. We've teamed up with Indra Robotics, and they're sending us a pair of their new maneuver arms, which are the perfect size for this project. They're low cost, have 6 degrees of freedom, and can lift up to 3 kilograms each. But they don't come with grippers. Luckily, if you watched our video where we gave Jesse a bionic hand, you'll know we're friends with one of the coolest companies on the planet, Psionic. And they're gonna loan us some of the most advanced bionic hands in the world. Now, programming robot arms is not the easiest, so I'm gonna tag in my friend Dave from Dave's Armoury. He's helped us with projects in the past, like building a real-life dummy from Iron Man. He's carved me out of carbonite with a robot, and even beat me in a robot-assisted game of cornhole. And if those projects sound cool, well, you should check out his channel because he's working on a VR simulator for flying an X-Wing right now, using a giant robot arm. For the mechanical design, Charles is gonna take lead on this project because I've got to finish the last few design changes for our new 21-in-1 Smithblade Pro Everyday Carry, which we're launching at Hacksmith.store, hopefully by the end of this year. For those who can't wait, well, we just got the samples in of our lower cost Smithblade Lite, and they're pretty awesome. They come in lots of pretty colors, weigh only 88 grams, and pack 7 useful tools. And production has begun, which means they'll be available before we launch the Pro Edition. So make sure you sign up for updates at Hacksmith.store, linked below, so you know when you can buy one. Now, let's make forearms real.
So James wants to be able to operate his extra arms remotely using a VR headset. And to do that, well, it's going to take a bit of robotics finaglery. So we have the perfect man for robotics finaglery, Dave from Dave's Armoury. Think this is going to be possible?
It definitely seems like it. We should be able to track the hand positions using the headset and have that control 2 arms live.
He's going to lend us a hand with programming it. And to do that, first I need to lend him an arm. And we'll reconvene in a bit. Hopefully I'll have the backpack working and he'll have the actual robot working.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
This is what I need for my prototype. We are 1 arm short of a load, but you know, it'll get the job done. Let's slap it together. So now I've got our kind of platter assembly here and the motor assembly, and we have to put them together and get these belts going where they're supposed to go. Those are wobblier than I would have liked. Turn this on and so that's our stowed position, and then motor runs and brings the robots forward. Ideally, this thing really feels like it wants to take my fingers off. Before we can mount the robot arm to this, we need some way to actually attach this to a person. We're gonna be using a combination of this back support and this weightlifting belt. And those are just bolted on to an intermediate frame, which for the purposes of our prototype is this piece of wood.
How's that feel?
Not great. This might be the most uncomfortable to wear project I've ever built. And also, I suspect if we try to move the arms, or like move the platter, the swingy outy bit, it's gonna do some rather unpleasant things.
Yeah,
Well, it's something. So this is why we don't put all of our eggs in one basket and put both the arms on at once, because I think 1 is plenty to show that this is not working as is. We gotta do some design revisions, but that's why we do prototypes. I've spent some time in SolidWorks putting together prototype 2. My key takeaways from last time was that it was really uncomfortable, and number 2, it didn't work. But what does working mean here? Like, what do we actually want the system to do? The system needs to reliably deploy the arms safely and smoothly. It needs to feel natural and lifelike, like an extension of my body and not that. Ow. Prototype 2 is going to help with that. I've flipped the gearbox upside down to make the whole thing more compact. I've changed the shape of the platform that the arms are mounted to so that they don't interfere and crash into the frame. And I've changed the positioning of the straps so that the whole thing's just a bit more comfortable.
You made a hand, give him a hand, but now I need to give him a hand.
Prototype 2, ready to test. I've rigged it up so we have a button to deploy it instead of it just going on a timer, because that was that. Hey, that's not bad. So then this robot arm can actually like move and do things. And then we want it gone, it folds up, you hit the button. One moment, please. There was just a small electrical fire. What really sets this apart from the last one is that this is making its full range of motion without crashing into anything or scraping on anything. Sounds like it should be a low bar to clear, and it is, but we're there now. Hit that, it swings all the way back, and it's now in the fully stowed position. There's less wobble from the front, almost entirely hidden. It's like, haha, you thought I only had 2 lightsabers? 3. Soon to be 4. We'll get to that. So this is working great. Where does that leave us? Well, first, we need another arm. Can't just have 1.5 pairs of arms, we need to have 2 full pairs. So we'll get that mounted once we get it back from Dave. And also, we need something to go on the ends of our arms. You can't really do much with just this bolt hole pattern. We'll need a hand of some form. And also, we need to kind of clean the whole thing up. It's a bit of a mess at the moment, and it's tethered to the wall. So we're gonna make it self-contained and pretty, and that way we can actually like run around and do things with it instead of just being 4 feet away from the lab power supply. So Dave's back with our robots, and he has done some magic.
So it took a bit of work to get going, but the biggest thing is the Quest headset is tracking my hand positions using AI around the headset. Then that's piped through Unity, the game engine, into ROS, and then ROS is using my hand positions to calculate the joint angles for each arm. Then when I move them around, the arms follow.
So if we have somebody standing behind the person wearing the robot with a headset on, they can be doing the fine manipulation, while the guy actually wearing the thing can be using their own 2 hands to do stuff. This is cool as hell. Let's grab James, see what he thinks. So what's it feel like to be in the Matrix?
Crazy, you can go to wrist. Like, yeah, it's weird not knowing the bounds until you hit them, and then it doesn't.
Yeah, it takes some practice.
We will have pinch for actually pinching the gripper. Is there another hand position we could do to lock the arm, just stay still?
You could outside of it, but not with hand tracking.
Controlling our robots by hand was pretty cool, but I think we really do need a controller. So let's talk about controllers. This is our Sisu Cinema robot, and it also has a controller. Grab the dead man switch, grab the trigger, and it'll mimic any motion that you make with your hand on the giant robot. This is effective, it's intuitive, and I want to use it. Now, it also has like 4 million other features, but we're just gonna copy, pull the trigger, make a motion onto our smaller robot, and I think that's gonna work great. To make this thing portable, we need batteries. And we have a lot of batteries here in the shop. Specifically, we need a 6-cell lithium battery. We still have a lot of those, but we narrowed it down to about 4 options. We have this 10 amp hour singular pack. We have this ganged up set of 5 amp hour packs. We have these smaller unknown capacity packs. And we have this huge pile sitting out back of lithium ion cells. Now, there's really nowhere to fit a battery this big on the design. James and I had a good sit down to try and think this through, and we really couldn't think of anything. These guys would only offer us about half an hour of runtime, which just isn't enough for what we want to do. Not enough for a shoot day. We'd spend the whole time recharging the thing. These, we could really conveniently fit either side of the frame, but we kind of want something that looks cool, because it either needs to be really subtle and hidden, or really cool looking. And these guys, they wouldn't look cool, and be kind of hard to hide them, because they just make this whole thing bulkier. So instead, we're going with individual cells. And we're gonna arrange these so that you can actually see them from the outside. And they're gonna form a sort of like cyberpunk array with some lights down the back. We're gonna put those outside of the jacket that's worn over this, which is one of our Hacksmith.store shop coats. So my next step is figuring out where to put 24 of these that looks cooler than just hiding them all together. After brainstorming with James, I dove into SOLIDWORKS and designed this custom battery cell enclosure. This is one of the prettier things I built for this project. All it needs to do is hold this in place on his shirt, but in addition to that, we've got this beautiful mesh pattern so that you can still see the cell inside. There's a slot on the bottom for some LEDs, and just generally pretty good aesthetics going on. While these are all printing off, I need to weld the battery tabs onto all the cells, and then just fit them all together. Should be pretty straightforward if nothing goes wrong. We're 3D printing our battery cases out of nylon using a Formlabs fused printer to make them super strong. The printer uses selective laser sintering, where it melts nylon powder layer by layer to create the parts. Once the print is done, we take the block of nylon powder to the Formlab's fuse sift to remove the printed pieces. The leftover nylon powder is collected, recycled, and used again for future prints. Our high school co-op student Debbie has volunteered to help finish digging out the rest of the pieces to complete the process. James and I spent some time piecing together all the battery casings. Once we had those ready, we measured exactly where they would fit best on the Hacksmith shop coat, and used the laser cutter to make some holes that lined up perfectly with the 3D printed cases. Then, we added the LED light strip and used plastic rivets to secure the casings over it. After popping in the batteries, I wired everything together on the inside of the coat, and we coated the cascading effect onto the LEDs. I have to admit,
That looks pretty friggin' cool.
since you saw this backpack last, I've thrown the second arm back on, put a gripper on the end of each arm, it's not a hand, but close enough, integrated the PC and the Ethernet switch into the chassis, and added an e-stop circuit. Because it's really nice to be able to turn off just the actuators without having to reboot the computer and all the control electronics. Added some wiring, some convenience features, and a bit of black spray paint, and here we are. If you want to see more details of how this whole thing goes together, you can check out the full schematic diagram in the link in the description below at maker.io. We've got our robot mounted onto this old dummy, and we made a couple changes. So now, we have the control through the controllers on the VR headset, and we have buttons so that we can actually open and close the grippers.
This wasn't the biggest change. Unity already keeps track of the controllers. We just had to pass through the button commands and then send that data through to the serial so we could actually stow, unstow, and control the grippers.
So let's see if we have the dexterity to do something like dead simple, like, I don't know, pour a glass of water, for instance.
Oh no, little spark. There you go.
As you can see, the arms and the grippers are working great. But the grippers, cool as they are, limit the sorts of things you can hold on to, like a mini saber from Hacksmith.store. If we want to grip whatever we like, we're going to need a hand. And luckily, our friends over at Psionic, they've lent us a hand once again, namely the Psionic Ability Hand. This is an incredibly capable prosthetic, so with it, we should be able to grab basically anything we want. It's time for an upgrade. Best part about swapping out the Psionic hands is that our control scheme for them is wireless, which means we can ditch this black and yellow wire that's been snaked down the length of these otherwise crisp-looking arms. The reason we're able to do that is because these arms actually ship with power brought out to the front here, so that you can plug in a gripper or end effector of any sort. Since we can control the hands wirelessly, we just need the power, and we don't need any other cables, leaving this thing all beautiful and smooth. And powered off. Oops. To attach the hands to the Indoor Robotics arm, I designed this custom 3D printed mount, which will allow everything to fit together seamlessly. I'm also integrating the power supply for the hands within the mount to keep things compact and tight. I'm going to be super careful while mounting these, since we only have two, and I really do not want to break them. And just like that, Psionic hands are securely in place. Now, it's time to put them to the test and see what they can do. I hit the wrong button. Yes!
I thought you were just dropping it to show everybody how resilient the mini saber is, right?
Oh yeah, it is a very, very resilient mini saber. And you can get yours at Hacksmith.store.
All right, Charles, what we got?
Well, I've spent like 2 weeks now refining the control scheme and getting this all perfectly dialed in. Before we strap it on your back, I really think you should actually get a feel for it. So here's what we have for a control scheme. If you press and hold the trigger on either hand, then that will turn on motion. This means that any motion you make with your hands will be reflected in the robots while you're holding the trigger. However, if you move, let go, and then move your hand, it won't move until you pull the trigger again, at which point the motion will be relative to where your hand is now. This means that you can pause and then just with your hands in a more comfortable position, continue your motion, which is kind of a godsend in some of the slightly finickier positions. Secondly to that, we have the deploy and retract commands. Those are hidden on the grip switch on the right and left for deploy and stow respectively. Those swing the arms back into a hidden position and forward into a kind of poised and ready position. This also serves as a good way to just reset the motion if you wind up getting them into a weird position out front. You just hit the button and they snap back to the sides. Then we also have grips for controlling the hands. Those are the face buttons, so it's A and X, I think, to grab, and B and Y to release. And finally, if you need that last little bit of finicky control, you can use the joystick on top of the controllers while holding the triggers to roll the wrist in plane.
Yeah.
Sometimes when the algorithm can't find a way to actually make the motion that you want, sometimes you can get it to be in a position where it can find a way just by letting it jiggle and asking it a bunch of times, which is horrible. But if it works and saves us having to reset the whole robot, hey, you know what? Totally worth it. I've got a perspective challenge. I haven't had breakfast yet. Figure you can pour me a drink? This ends well. Perfect success!
So since the eventual goal of this project is to swing lightsabers around, it's time to see how it handles a blade. Yeah. Just call me Qui-Gon Jinn. Watch this smooth operation. Ah, so close. Yeah! Yes. Woo! I'm a Jedi. He's got his lightsabers hidden behind his back.
Yeah, you got two lightsabers in your actual hands. And then you're like, but wait, there's more.
Wacha! Hi-da-da! Lightsabers.
Just like in the movies.
Managing projects like these can feel like we're trying to do everything with just 2 hands. And for complex builds, like this robotic arm project, having the right tools makes all the difference. And that's why we use Odoo. It's a project management tool that makes organizing even the most complicated tasks a breeze. Odoo is like having 4 arms for your business, or homebrewed engineering projects. In fact, we actually set up this entire robotic arm build in Odoo in no time. And getting started is super easy. Click the link below to create a free account. Choose the Projects app, and you'll be able to import tasks from a CSV file or quickly build and organize any project. The Projects app also integrates seamlessly with other Odoo apps, so you can transfer data effortlessly or even use AI for task planning. And Odoo isn't just for projects. From inventory and even website building to payments and HR, it's your all-in-one place. And best of all, your first app is free for life. Click the link in the description below to try Odoo for free and give yourself an extra hand in managing your projects like a pro.
Yeah, I'm all powerful. And now I'm Mace Windu. Wow. That's pretty awesome. Okay, so it still seems a little buggy.
You want to wear it?
Shouldn't we fix the bugs first?
Don't you hate it when you're cutting a 2x4 and you have nowhere to put the 2x4? Well, look no further, you got robot arms. There's no way this could go poorly. So convenient. And now my hands are free. I got my wood behind me. I can continue doing my tasks, you know? That worked way better than it had any right to do.
All right, let's see what else we can do.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Just take a mark right there. Got my notebook. Available at Hacksmith store. It's 16 inches. Yay! There we go. Yeah, okay, that's in spec 2. We're gonna lean into Doc Ock. What's a good Doc Ock quote? I'm merely a victim of an accident, and anyone can have an accident. Sometimes to do what's right, we have to be steady and give up the things we want most, even our dreams. Every choice we make will create countless other possibilities. Ah, hold the light still.
over here. How the hell did you actually light? What the He's doing better than a child. Yeah. Higher.
Working on it.
7, 8, 9. One more. 10.
Checkmate.
All right, man.
I don't know about you guys, but making a hot dog, it's a lot of work. I always wish I had more than 2 hands because you gotta hold the condiments, you gotta hold the bun, you gotta get the dog in the bun. Well, luckily I do have 4 arms now, so let's see how much easier this is. We need to cook the hot dog first. So I'm just gonna grab the mini saber right there. Nice. Second one. All right, we got our fire source. Now I'm gonna grab my nice 100% beef hot dog. Do not swing the mini sabers into my face.
Out that way.
Oh, that's pretty good. Oh, yeah. And then rotate this hand. Come on.
Right in.
Oh, yeah. Now we're talking. Now we're cooking with fire.
Dylan, does your job feel at risk yet?
Is this not the future of cooking?
Absolutely. Just make sure that it's charred on one side and not at all on the other. There you go.
Here we go. All right, I think that's good. I'm just gonna put it in here. So we got our hot dog nice and evenly cooked on the edges only. There you go, buddy. Now, don't. You crushed the dog. Which of these do you think's easiest to squeeze for the
Ketchup,
hot dog?
definitely the ketchup.
So I'm just gonna open up the ketchup. Okay, maybe not the ketchup because apparently you don't need to squeeze the ketchup. We'll try the mustard. All right, good. There we go. Yeah, and wait, you don't want to squeeze yet. Okay. Oh, it's working. All right, let's try the relish. I did a worse job than the robot. Okay, there we go. We got some. Yep. Okay, and then we just want. There we go.
All right, I'm just gonna reset the arms to safe position.
Whoa.
Oh, I forgot that the hot dog was
Okay,
just gonna sit there.
okay. Now bring it in. You gotta make the airplane noises. It's the only way. That's a good hot dog. These were 100% cooked before we cooked them.
Yeah, they're cooked from the factory.
Really, you want a bite?
Yeah.
Is it not working?
No.
Oh, yeah. Into a hot dog. Oh. I'm proud of success. This is how I'm making all my hot dogs in the future. And that's how you hold a hot dog. Got some paper towel in here?
No.
I thought you were getting it right.
And why stop at hot dogs? It can help you eat spaghetti too. Oh yeah. Oh, perfect. Bring it here, Charles. Oh, this is hot, isn't it? It's still steam. Okay, a bit higher. Yeah. Bring her in. Yeah, sure. Oh, I think. How did I? It all. All right, grab me another hand. Grab me another handful. There we go. That's a more mouth-sized piece. Okay, a bit higher. Yeah.
Oh. You're right, Brian. Yeah, the arm's stuck again.
We've got an idea. Guns. Lots of guns. Shit.
On the door.
Yeah, there we go. Put him up!
I don't have a weapon.
Hey! And I have a bomb vest.
Pop squat.
Do you feel lucky, punk? Do you feel lucky, punk?
Whoopsies. Whoa, 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 whoa.
This is a holdup. Shit. Where's the cash? Where is it?
Oh,
This is a holdup.
it's something, all right.
Lucky punk? Do you feel lucky, punk? Do you feel lucky? Do you feel lucky? Having 2 extra arms, it's pretty awesome. I don't know if I'm twice as productive, but we've only just scratched the surface on the potential of these robot arms and these amazing bionic hands from Psionic. We're going to continue developing this with even better control methods. And I know you guys want to see us give it real lightsabers. So we're going to get an H1 humanoid robot and try and make a real-life General Grievous. So make sure you subscribe because you're not going to want to miss it. I also like to point out that we actually filmed this using another robot, so it's like robot inception over here, which is pretty awesome. And if you like supporting crazy projects like this, check out Hacksmith.store because we got 4 different kinds of minisabers, and we just launched the yellow flame changers. So now you can have red lightsabers, blue lightsabers, green lightsabers, and yellow ones too.